Can you pull it up on your phone? See if you can hear anything when it comes back up.
Ask, hey, ask me about cheerleading first before we get to that. You can hear the intro.
You hear the intro coming through?
You can
Hear the intro coming through? All right. Well, welcome everybody to Clay County High School, and we are live here for our coaches show on a Tuesday evening. As we've got volume coming from everywhere, we've got sound issues. It seems like every time we do one of these, but that's okay. It's playoff edition. It's we are excited and ready to go. I'm Alan Tanner along with Dylan Vaughn, and we are here with AD Sean Krajewski. We're going to talk all things football playoffs as the Panthers, of course, are going to take on the Roane County Raiders for a second time this year on our third trip to Spencer, West Virginia. Hopefully, third time is a charm. I think we're ready to go. We're
wonder if we
excited.
set a state record by playing in the same place 3 times.
Nobody's ever plays in the same place 3 times. I doubt it, not unless it's their home field for sure. So we thank you for tuning in, and we're going to get to all things football here in just a minute. But before we do, we always want to take advantage and talk about all the different sports we have. So, Coach, we got you here first. Before we get to football, because there's a lot of things fans need to know and want to know and will have to know before Friday. Um, our cheerleaders were at the regional tournament. Am I right? That was this week.
Yeah, they competed this past Saturday at
Okay.
Cabell Midland. They finished sixth in their region, and then they go. Believe it or not, they go to Brown County this Thursday for the LKC championships.
How does Roane County get all these events?
They I don't think there's too many schools that want the cheer event,
Okay.
so they take it, and so our girls will be headed over there Thursday for that. To be honest with you, the LKCs might be just as tough as the regionals are, but Coach Williams said she thought that the girls, learned something. They had a couple that hadn't cheered before, and they feel like they're going to do a little bit, better on Thursday, which six overall still is not bad in your region. So good luck to them as far as that goes.
So sixth place in the region. I don't know how many teams is there, but I imagine if being at Cabell Midland was a ton.
A bunch of them,
So
yes.
great job, girls. That's an awesome job. Now,
They'll be, let me finish, they'll be
yeah,
at 4:55 on Thursday. If anybody wants to go over 4:55 on Thursday.
4:55 on Thursday. I went to that last year, and that was wild.
Yep.
Uh, I didn't know that gym could hold that many people. I didn't know it could be so loud. And if screaming, cheering girls are your thing, then go over there and be a
Absolutely.
part of that because, wow, that's all I can say. Wow. So awesome job. That's a shout out to our cheerleaders. Now, so we'll try to, I don't know if that's at Roan, maybe Drew and the guys from Spencer will bring us that. I don't know. We'll
They
see.
covered it last year, so
Okay.
they may very well cover
Well,
it this
if you're watching, guys over there, we expect to see something good from all the cheerleading action. Don't know how you do that. That would be an interesting one. So we'll be interested to see what that looks like for sure. So that's Thursday at 4:55.
year. Yes.
Odd time. That's an exact time. 4:55 p.m.
I mean, I think
Okay.
they start at 4:45, and I think they have 5 minutes, and then they go to the next
Okay.
game after
So we're right at the beginning.
that. Third team, I believe.
Third
Yes.
team. Okay.
Second.
So if you want to watch that, make sure to get over there. Good luck, girls. They work really hard, by the way, and that's these 2 weeks are kind of uh, just like playoffs for football. This is kind of their thing the next 2 weeks. So good luck, ladies. Very awesome job this year, and of course they'll probably be back over there on Friday as well. I imagine for the playoff game. So they got a lot of traveling to do this week. Um, Tell us about so before we get into the X's and O's of football here, of course we play Friday night at Roane County. There's a couple important things that fans you need to know about playoffs and especially about tickets. Tell us how the fans can get tickets and get into the game, Coach.
All right, so all playoffs are like this. You'll go to GoFan. I think you can see it up on your screen right there. We pulled up on the computer. A lot of people, download the app onto their phone. Uh, you can buy the tickets. I believe maybe you have to have an account, which is maybe just an email. I don't know if they ask for anything else or not, but set up your account. You're going to go to the screen that you see. You're going to type in Clay County High School. Make sure, I know when I look mine up, there's a couple of different Clay counties. Make sure you find Clay, West Virginia, click on it. You're going to see Rome County Raiders versus Clay County Panthers. All you do is click buy tickets and you can purchase them from the site. Okay, and so we said earlier that no cash, so you can't just walk up. No cash will be accepted. I know of course, I think most of our fans know this. The event pass that we use here at home obviously is not going to be used there. The only pass that they'll accept at the playoffs is the coaches, what they call the CNI cards. They'll have them, so you can get in for that. I would highly recommend, just obviously for line's sake, the length of the line, is just go ahead and purchase your tickets before you get over there. I mean, you can wait till you get there and buy them off of GoFan, but I just have them ready to go, and they'll scan them, and you'll be in the ball.
You have to purchase them through GoFans.
Yes.
I want to make sure people know that you cannot show up with cash and say, "Well, I'll just pay cash." That's an SSAC thing. They want all schools to do that. We did that a couple years back, and I know it's frustrating for people when you get over there, especially if you don't have good service or trying to buy a ticket can be a nightmare. So if you plan on coming, go ahead and buy your ticket on GoFan.com, and it's an app too. You can on most cell phones now, the App Store, whatever store you have. If it's iPhone, the App Store definitely has it, and it's pretty easy to find. Honestly, we were sitting here before the show and clicked through it. Not hard at all to find. You'll see it. Game time 7 o'clock. Buy your ticket online, and all prices are the same. There's no student adult price. Is that right, or am I incorrect in that?
They're all $7.
Yep. Everything is $7. So just make sure to buy your ticket, have it ready on your phone. They can scan it and you'll get right in. And that is, believe me when I say this, we did a home game a couple years back. It can be a nightmare, and it's really frustrating when you have to, try to get to your phone when you're ready to buy your ticket. Got to get in the back of the line. Just buy your ticket. Trust me on that one, and get there early because also I don't know how parking is. It used to be really bad.
Well, from what I understand about their parking, I think it's still not great as far as that goes. I think there's two options that we have. Obviously, if you park around the school, um, there's a small lot there where the middle school's at in front of the high school to the left. If you're looking at the high school, you can park there. I think if you go on up just a little bit farther, now they did this during the regular season. I haven't talked to their AD. If you remember last time, Mr. Ford was in the hospital. I think he just got out yesterday, so
Okay.
that's good. But having a chance talking to them there, I mean, they charge you $5, and you can go on up and park near like their bleachers or around that way. I do know the road that goes all the way up to where our locker room is going to be the visitor locker room. That's just for that's handicap parking up there and for bus parking and everything that we have buses up there. So and they have their ambulances parked up there and everybody else. So that's not a whole lot of parking there. So again, I would come early because there isn't I guess there's enough parking, but there's not a lot of parking real close.
It's gonna be packed, and I am sure of that. I can't imagine a scenario when it's not. The weather's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna warm back up here a little bit, so make sure you get there early. Have your GoFan ticket ready to go, and get a good seat and watch a really good first round playoff game. I'm really excited. Uh, Now, what I understand, if I did I miss have I missed anything yet?
No, not I don't think about the
Okay.
game. Just you said it, but a reminder, because most of our games start at 7:30, but this is a 7 p.m. start. So
Game starts at 7. Be there. It
yeah,
feels like midnight at 7 anyway,
yeah,
so just it doesn't matter what time it starts at
right.
this time of year. Uh, Now it obviously it's a little different in the fact the game's still the same, obviously, but aren't there some different things like regulations for playoffs? The SSAC tightens the hatches down just a little bit when it comes to
They
playoffs.
do tighten it up a little bit, and of course, a lot of this is geared towards the fans because there's some things they can and can't do that they've been in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and put my glasses on. For some reason, this print they make it smaller and smaller each year. The print, I don't know why
Well,
it's like that, but
yeah, they do
so
that every year.
My
It gets
shirts are getting
smaller.
my closet makes my
yes,
shirts
my
smaller
shirts
too.
get smaller as well. I don't know why that happens, but anyway. All right, so I'm going to give you all a quiz. You guys are good at giving quizzes. I'm going to give you a couple here,
I love
and
quizzes.
so this is geared, obviously what we
These
can
are
do.
rules for fans, right, at playoff games.
Right.
Is
What we
that
can
right?
do at the football game on Friday. So the
Okay.
first question is, are we allowed to bring balloons to the football game? Yes.
I'm
or
gonna
no?
say yes. Balloons are great.
I would like to, but I guess I'm gonna guess no.
I'm gonna say yes.
Yes, you can bring balloons.
All
Very
right,
good.
you
fun.
can bring balloons.
Are you allowed to put banners up on the wall, the fence, or anything like that during the game?
Yes.
No.
1-1. We'll keep
No
score.
banners.
No banners.
Okay.
Now
So
we'll
what
carry
about?
that. Just hold on. Nah, that's another question. Hold on. Don't get
Okay.
too far.
Well, we have one that says the pit loves Allen Dill. Can't even put that up.
We can hang out.
Yeah.
I'll talk to SSAC about
Well,
that.
you'll see.
That one.
Okay.
Can the cheer and band members make a tunnel for the football team to go out? Of
Yes.
course, after last week, I'm not so sure that we want that
I'm
to
gonna
happen.
say no.
I'm gonna say yes.
The answer to that is yes. Okay, but it is just the cheer and the band. We can't have our
No
out.
fans in the tunnel.
Right.
Okay.
Um, I don't think that applies to us. Can we bring confetti or paper debris to a game?
I'm gonna bring some.
I think no.
The no would
I
be
do remember that from my time as principal. No confetti.
no confetti, please.
Okay.
Can we bring handheld signs that we can hold up?
Yes.
I think that would be. I think that would be
Yes.
reasonable.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
How about can we bring? And I noticed we had one last week. Can we bring our inflatable tunnel over and run through it Friday night?
I'm gonna say no since we can
agree.
only be players and cheerleaders.
We can bring our inflatable tunnel over if we want to set it up.
All right,
as well.
pack it up.
Okay, so
Pack it
People
up.
are gonna be so confused.
Yes.
We're saying yes. No.
Yes.
So
I don't
we
even-
can bring. We can
We
bring.
can bring, yes. I think we know this one. We're not gonna bring any laser pointers.
No laser
No
pointers. Just in general, laser pointers bad.
We can't bring miniature sports balls or anything to throw into the crowd. We do that at home games. I think cheerleaders do that. We can't do that.
Okay.
Now, here's one that gets a little confusing. Can we bring noisemakers such as horns, cowbells, bells, buzzers, clickers, etc.?
What's a football game without a good cowbell? I'm gonna say no. Yes, we can bring them.
Just let you answer that one, Sean. I'm not sure.
The answer to that question is yes, we can.
We can
We
bring
can
noisemakers.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Okay. Um, we've already talked about this. We can bring a paper banner for the team to run through.
Okay.
Obviously,
We're
we
not-
can bring. No, we want to keep it at home. We're not bringing, or we can bring pom poms as well.
Yes.
Can we bring air horns, pressurized air horns, electric
No.
bullhorns?
No.
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 Okay, that is
No
absolutely
air
no.
horn.
Now we did have that issue at the game there on Friday night. Actually, during regular season games, you can. It's recommended you don't. And then a couple of our fans were upset. They thought they were playing them during the downs, and maybe they were early, but didn't hear it after that. So
Now, if a fan were to do something like blow an air horn, the official like give a warning, and then at some point, I guess it could be a penalty, couldn't it?
I mean,
On the
it
team?
maybe could go there, and obviously, I mean, you could be escorted out, I guess, if that's the situation.
don't do
Nobody
that.
wants that to happen. So
Leave the air horns at home.
just leave the air horns at home. That's right. Okay, and I think that's probably about it. So wanted to cover that with the fans so
That's
that
a
we
hard-
have a good
that's a
idea
hard
of what's
quiz.
going on.
I got about a 75%.
We'll have to rewind and see who the winner was. I think Deal quit, so I think
Yeah, I came back.
maybe.
I came
won.
back.
Well, if you don't answer, you're wrong by default.
That's right.
So,
Yeah. I mean, you have 50-50 chance, and he
Yes.
wouldn't even go with it.
Yeah, so we were 1-1
I'm not a
early.
good test taker. I'm not a good test taker.
So,
All right.
Yeah.
I have a couple other things we'll talk about in the football game. So our bus is headed out at 3:30 on Friday.
Okay.
Of course, the team will leave with the box truck, and they'll leave early and get over there.
Are they lining the streets?
Well, I haven't heard a whole lot. It's kind of been with the week we got left early yesterday and then holiday day. But I'm going to imagine that's what I wanted to tell
Fans?
the fans: line up the streets with
Yes.
signs and everything.
We
and
are
I'm sure they
challenging
will,
you
but
in Clay County. Those who are watching this, let's line the streets up. Bus pulls out at 3:30.
bus pulls out at
Let's
3:30,
make some
yes.
noise before we head down 36 and down that curvy road, and all of us get sick. Let's cheer on the Panthers as they head down the streets. I think that would definitely be a good thing.
And hopefully, I'm sure somebody will get
Yes.
get them a police escort out of here as well. At least get them
Oh, yes.
to the wall back exit.
May need one farther than that, and we may need one back,
Yeah.
depending on if what happens. What I think is going to happens. We may need one to get out of Springfield.
Yeah,
I like it.
I don't have the information with this. I'm not sure why I'm bringing it up, but I know programs are online this year.
Okay.
And
so no
I'll have to,
in-person
yeah,
programs.
no, you can't, and I know a lot of people like to buy those. They keep them for keepsakes and everything. They're online. You can go to WSSAC site. I can't tell you exactly where to go from there. When I get that information, I'll post it up on the athletics page, maybe even have a link to it. But anyway,
And we will have a page in it, our team and all that. So yeah, if you got a player on a team, make sure you get a program.
yeah, we have the page, and then I wanted to give a shout out to the boosters. They pay for that page, and they actually paid for the page cross country as well. 'Cause
Okay.
anytime we enter into state tournament or playoff, they ask for a page. So got team picture in
Thank you,
there.
boosters, for that.
Yes. So,
Yep. And well, I have one question for you, but I want to let you finish.
I think I'm covered everything.
So I'm going to ask everybody that comes on this show tonight here. Big game, win or go home, nothing to lose. If it was up to you, what would you say the keys to winning this game are going to be?
I got three keys to winning this game, and
Okay.
probably I'm going to give you more information than the coaches are going to give you here in a minute. But
Well, I
got the three
imagine
keys
that
to
might be
it, okay?
true. I can imagine that.
I'm going to give you what you would call coach speak. I'm going to give you those.
Okay.
It's simple: turnovers, penalties, and the line of scrimmage. Those are three things.
Win the turnover battle, no penalties, and win at the line of
Got to win
scrimmage.
at the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
That's for sure. So,
Well,
Those are three good keys right there. Yeah.
Roan has done a pretty good job of winning at the line of scrimmage last couple times they played us. So
they do that to a lot of
Yeah.
people. So
Yep.
I've saw both of our lines throughout the year do the same thing. So
Yeah.
they're just going to step up and do that Friday night or step out.
Yep.
well, all right. Well, remember, fans, a couple things that this is very important. Make sure you buy your ticket on GoFan. I know the service can be spotty over there, and I can imagine it might be real difficult, be frustrating to have to drive back out to the town of Spencer to buy a ticket
Right.
once you're already there. So make sure you buy your ticket online. $7. Go ahead and get it in advance and have it on your phone. If you have questions about it, I'm sure you can find someone here at the school before Friday to answer all those questions. But it's pretty simple. If you got a cell phone, you can do it. If you got any computer with internet, it's not hard to find. Be there early, get you a good parking spot, and don't bring any air horns, but make sure to bring your banner that says. No, you can't bring your banner. It says Allendale. I'm a little upset about
They
that.
can bring a sign, a handheld
But you
sign.
can bring a handheld sign, and we do expect one that says WVRC Clay County Sports.
I'd say there's a lot of people
Yes.
working on them right now.
All
Yes.
right.
Making those
Yes.
signs.
I like to hear.
Well, anything else? Last words?
Yeah, let me do this real quick. I made a list of people. Boy, I hope I didn't leave anybody out. But especially, it's just not football, but I mean, all the events we have here during the fall takes a lot of people to run those things or to be part of
Yep.
those. And I think it's when I go to a sporting event, you sit down and everything kind of runs smooth. And I just know from having to do it myself, boy, there's a lot of work behind it as far as that goes. So I wanted to thank a bunch of people that helped me out during the year. And boy, I hope I didn't forget anybody, but here goes. So I want to thank Jenny Graham, Jeffrey Cropus, Miss Nancy that works here. She's always a ticket
We
taker.
work close in hand with Jenny as well and Jeff upstairs during home games. So yeah, we'll kudos to that.
Yeah. Don Mullins and Mike Mullins, they usually work for down there for tickets. The custodians, Jesse Runyon, Mike Drake, Charles Ramsey, Jamie Sears. I even got you all. Appreciate you guys. I think what is we've started to do here and our kids getting to be seen is it's been great. It really has been.
Yes.
And I thank Principal Angela Nichols for all that she does. And again, if I left anybody out, I apologize. But it takes a lot of people to do that. I mean, I wrote these down. We've had an alumni night this year. We recognized our undefeated 2000 team. We recognize the Major League Football team. We recognize the students who exceeded on their test scores, the elementary kids who did.
Oh yes.
And then we have senior night, which we have every year. But it just takes a little extra work to do those things. But anytime that we can involve the community and involve the kids and want them to be part of that program when they get to the age, I think it's something that's worth doing as far as that.
I agree 100%. Well, Coach, thanks for stepping in.
All right, thank you.
I appreciate it. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we got Coach Jamie McDonough going to step in. We'll talk to him a little bit. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It'll be VRC Clay County Sports.
Thank you, guys. Let you hold that for just a second.
You ready, Coach? All the way. Can you hear it? Y'all are able to hear it? Yeah. I don't think you could hear the intro, which was really the best part.
Howdy.
Oh, really? The coach show intro, the one I showed. Huh? There's
I don't even know if you can hear the Big Otter video right now. Well, we can hear it in here. I don't think it's playing on the
something wrong with
on
it. It did
like
this last
the
time.
video actually.
What thing? I'll take it apart. I'll put it back down there. Sure. Yeah. Yep. I can do it.
So yeah,
Yep. Might even be able to hear that. Yep. You can still hear it.
all right. Not sure why our sound's not working now, but we are back on here, and we have
Okay.
to my left Coach Jamie McDonough.
Coach, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Welcome to your very first appearance on WVRC. How's it feel?
It feels good to be here, and it feels good to coach the kids at Clay County.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit of wrestling here in just a few minutes. But first, big week. I know you guys just got finished up with practice. How are you feeling about Friday night?
Well, I think we've installed a good game plan. It's just up to the kids to follow it, and let's see what happens Friday.
It's been a long time since we played road. Played roan. Say that right. Back in week, what was it, week 2?
Yeah.
Am I thinking it right? Week 2?
Week 2 or 3.
This is week 11. It was week 3, actually.
Okay.
That is right. Week 3, and this is week 11. So 8 weeks later, I'm not going to ask you to give any kind of game plan away or anything like that. I wouldn't want to do that. But do you feel better about it now than you did 8 weeks ago?
We're going in with the same confidence we did then. Their coaches give it up to them. They do a good job up there of running what they run, and it's simple. They're
Yeah.
going to run it down your throat and pass it a couple of times, keep you honest.
And we're going to try to stop it best we can, right?
Yep.
That's all we can do. Now, do you help with special teams, Coach?
I help with special teams and defense.
Okay. How impressive was that kick from Jackson Brown the other night against Braxton to basically win the game? I mean, I know you guys have confidence in him, probably from 40, 45, maybe even beyond that. But to see him step in there in a pressure situation after the weather had been the way that it was all evening, how much confidence does that give you in Jackson? I'm sure you already had it in there, but just give me kind of a impression of what you thought about that kid.
Well, Jackson's a senior, so you always put your trust in your seniors. He's been here before. And all the years I've coached, I think that's the only game that I've been involved with that a field goal decided it.
It's been a long time. And that comes on the heels of also maybe what people probably forgot about early on in that game in the first quarter. We answered the first score of the game with our very own touchdown on a kickoff return.
Yeah, Joel Elliott is an asset to his team, and you cannot forget the blocking that he had. If
Mhm.
you watch the end of that clip, Eddie Matheny is staying in front of that kicker just like we asked him to do, and Joel cut off that block and scored. And
Right.
the wall was set up beautiful.
I remember whenever we played Dill, you always hoped that maybe you wouldn't be on special teams so you could get a little break every
Yeah.
now and then. And you're smiling because I know that still happens, but it's so important. And now looking from our view, you want your best kids out there
Yeah.
on special teams because it does change the game.
Yeah, well, Joel and Jacoby, they touch the ball as much as they can, but you got to put them on special teams when they get a touch too.
Right.
Two extremely great athletes, and anytime the ball touches their hand, they can take it to the house.
Do you think special teams will play a big part this week?
I'm hoping it does.
Yeah. I would imagine it will.
I was going to say, now I remember the days when Coach Knopf was around and you got chilly when you had a return for a touchdown. Is that still true?
Well,
You
Coach
probably don't make Coach Knopf chilly, do you?
No, Coach McDonough gives out a piece of gum for every turnover, interception, or touchdown you get to.
Okay,
I like that.
I like it.
Little incentive.
So I can imagine special teams being a big part of this week. So, and I'm sure they're thinking the same thing. They have a couple guys. Well, actually, one may be hurt now, but when we played them over there, they had a couple guys back deep that I felt like we didn't want to kick to either.
Yeah.
And so that becomes tough.
Yeah, they only got one of them back there now. Number 1. They got number 3 back there too. He's got some moves too, but 5. Keep your heads up. You're a heck of a ball player.
Yeah.
I know you broke your leg, but a heck of a ball player.
They will be missing him, but he's not a senior, right? Brody was a senior.
I think he is.
He may be. Well, either way, he was one heck of a ball
Yes.
player, and so I'm sure they're missing him out there. Well, we're gonna switch gears just a little bit and talk about wrestling, which is coming up real soon. When's wrestling start? What are you looking for from the team this year?
Well, we're going to do sign-ups tomorrow. I haven't got a chance because of coaching and weather conditions. Was going to do it Monday, but the numbers that I'm hearing is around 40 some. And as you said a couple weeks ago, there are some girls that are very interested in coming out. Wrestling will start on Monday, November 17th. We'll practice right at school. Make sure you have your physical, and I'll give you the paperwork you need to turn in as soon as you can.
So wrestling, it's about every weekend. Now we have one home meet, right?
Yeah, Bob Stover, December 20th.
December 20th. We will be there. We'll call the action. Don't know how well we can call the action, but we'll try. I'm hoping to get Coach Collins maybe step in a match or two to give his expertise as well. So we do have one home match. Now wrestling's been on the uptick, I would say, for the past few years, and we have a lot of kids that go right off the football field onto the wrestling mat, and that toughness kind of shows. Would you agree?
Yes, I mean, most of your best tacklers are wrestlers. It's just bred into you.
I know Blake Coleman, whenever he steps up in the hole, there's been a few running backs this year that I thought they'll think twice about running right at number 4
Uh,
for sure.
Blake Coleman is a really tough individual. Might have one of the strongest backs I've ever had the pleasure of coaching in wrestling. I mean, you would get in an awkward position, but he just gets it and finishes it. And you're like, whoa, he's like, do what you do.
Yep.
That's awesome. So again, wrestling, of course, it culminates. Everybody loves watching the state tournament in March down in Huntington. Um, but all that isn't possible without these kids putting in the work. I know usually every Thanksgiving break they're in here running and uh, running. I mean, lots of running, um, and doing all the things, getting up on Saturday mornings and going to meets and just putting in a ton of work. And so we're excited to display those kids.
Yep.
Now I want to ask about girls because I've had some people ask me, and I want to make sure I'm telling them right. The girls, do they have separate tournaments? Do they wrestle at the same tournaments just against only the girls? How's that work?
Here's the thing girls can decide if they only want to wrestle other girls or they can compete with the boys in the regular event.
Okay.
Um, Usually the girls' tournament happens on a Friday night, the
Okay.
boys' tournament happens Saturday.
Okay. And they at the same place.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, I know I watched the girls' state tournament matchups, and I gotta say that I've said this before, but that was really exciting.
I'm telling you, there's some girls from the state of West Virginia that compete with anybody. I'm pretty sure there was a girl, I'm not mistaken, she may have medaled this time.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Do you know how many you think we'll have out?
Usually we get it right around 4-ish.
Okay.
But we have two girls that have shown interest and contacted us. Coach Minger and Coach Coleman and Coach Ahart, thank you guys for helping. You guys are going to put in a lot of time just like I am, and these girls are going to show up, and we're going to. Well, they're most of the girls that have decided to only want to wrestle girls, so we've had to add an extra schedule to our schedule, just their event.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well,
Well, Coach, thanks for sticking around with us. I know it's been a long afternoon with practice, and sure your film study was going on before that. So, it's been a long afternoon. One last question for you. We said we are going to ask everybody this evening. What do you think is the key to a victory on Friday evening?
Uh, just execution.
Absolutely.
We put in a game plan, they execute it, and it really relies on the kids for sticking to the game plan.
That's a good
okay.
answer. Good
Well,
answer.
I'm excited. Again, Friday night, we'll see what we got.
All right,
And
thank you guys for
Thanks,
having us.
Coach.
yep.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Coach. We'll be right back. Thanks, Coach McDonough. Once again, folks, stick with us. We'll be right back with our next guest. This is WVRC Clay County Sports.
I think you can still hear us on this. There's no need to even go to a commercial. So we'll just bring Coach. Who wants to go next? Y'all arm wrestle or something. So who's going to go next?
I'm going to win the arm wrestle.
We'll get over here. We ain't got a
What is
full
it?
mic. No, but you can still hear you probably.
Yeah, you come on over. Here, I'm not here.
You rock and roll? All right, folks, we are back here. No need to even go on a commercial break. You can hear us over the commercials anyway.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on here? Coach Collins, thanks for tuning in.
Oh, you guys
for
are welcome.
joining us.
Yep.
How's it been going?
Oh, it's going.
How was practice from an
Uh,
offensive standpoint?
a lot drier today than it was Friday.
I
A
like that.
little cooler, but a lot drier. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but it's a lot easier to throw it when it's dry. So I'm usually happier when we can throw it around a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's happier when it's not raining like
Yeah,
it was Friday.
Absolutely. It was ridiculous.
We might have been on the cusp of being as frustrated as you at one point. We lost our feed on Friday, and I was frustrated, and we were hooking and unhooking cords in the middle of a rainstorm. So, how are you feeling about Friday night, specifically speaking offensively? So far this week, what's your thoughts?
Tall task. They're pretty good defensively. Um, they the last time we played them, they were pretty aggressive up front and stuck with us in the back end, which made our night a long night. But I think we're better than we were. We played them week 3. I'm sure they're better too. So um, we'll see how it goes. Got some wrinkles for them. Maybe they haven't seen. Hopefully, um, and I'm sure they got some stuff schemed up for us too. But that's going to be an interesting matchup.
Coach, I went back and watched, and I'm sure you guys have watched it more than I have, but my very limited ability to watch film and break it down, I just went over and seen how many times I see Cooper sitting back there in the back. I wanted to see how many times he had to escape the pocket, um, forced out of the pocket. I guess
Yeah.
you'd call that quarterback hurry.
Mm-hmm.
37 times he dropped back, and he was forced out of the pocket 12 times.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 33%. And they were bringing pressure from different spots, up the middle, off the edges. I mean, Cooper was having to run for his life almost. So I think you're probably going to agree with this. Got to block him up maybe a little bit
Yeah.
better. Keep him out of the backfield. Give Cooper some time for those playmakers to get open down the field. Because I think there are spots behind some of those linebackers that are moved up a little bit. Maybe hit them over the middle, but you know more about that than me. What do you think when you've broken down some film from the first matchup with Roan County?
First off, I'll give them credit. Great scheme for the night we played them. They came out in a 5 front to begin with, and then they dropped into a 4, but they never just sent 4 people. They disguised their blitzes. Um, very creative about how they blitzed us, inside, outside, stack one side, uh, run some stunts to the weak side. They did a lot of things. Um,
Everybody, go ahead.
So we learned a lot from that game. I think our pass pro's gotten a lot better, and because of that game. So we definitely, as coaches, saw a weakness there. So we went to work immediately after that game, trying to fix that, and I think we have gained some ground. Are we where we need to be? We're going to find out Friday, but definitely have changed some things up.
Whenever I was going to say, when you watch film, it's easy to sit home and say, well, we got to block better up front.
Right.
And a lot of times, what I think maybe the casual fan doesn't realize is that it's not about just we're not able to block the guy in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's when they bring 6, you don't know where those 6 are coming from.
Yep.
What is it like for those guys up front at the line of scrimmage having to make a decision? Do I block the guy to my left, to my right, or what's my responsibility? And how do you I teach high school every day.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me. Sometimes I have to say the same thing about 12 times before they write it down on their paper.
Surely not.
Yeah. So, what is it like? And do you think after 11 weeks, it's a little easier now for those guys to figure out who they're blocking on the fly because it's not always the same guy every single time.
Well, I'm going to say this, and it probably will sound crazy. When they start thinking, that's when they mess up.
Yeah. Okay.
And what I mean by that is our pass pro calls and our pass pro is pretty simple if they just do their assignment. But they start thinking, they see things and they see these exotic pressures and they see stacks and twists and this and that. They need to eliminate all that from their mind and just take care of their gap. And if they do that, we do a good job. A couple other things that helps our pass pro. Our backs have to be better. We have to help our linemen. We have a couple of running backs back there at all times that are good athletes and good blockers. So they have to do a better job helping those guys up front as well. And I've got to do a better job as a play caller. Get the ball out quick. the easiest way to slow down a passer rush is to get the ball out fast. It's nothing any
Yeah.
more frustrating than a defensive front that they burn their energy trying to get to our quarterback and they get there and the ball's gone. So
Something we've noticed and we've talked about throughout the broadcast throughout the year, Cooper he has grown leaps and bounds as far as escaping pressure and not just running, but stepping up and evading sacks and evading tacklers, and that has to help a ton too.
Sure.
And so I think if you look back early on, of course, how many games he hadn't started any games before this year.
No,
Is that right?
it only played in maybe one or two when
He got hurt last year.
Yeah, we kicked Big Brother out and we got him in a couple times, but
Yeah.
not much.
I was telling Alan this earlier. I went back and watched the Shady Spring scrimmage that we had, and just to kind of see how we were doing up in the box, and we've gotten better. And to watch Cooper, the improvement that he's made from that week to now, it's amazing. You can just see the difference.
Yeah, first instinct's not to run out around the edge. You step up and evade that pressure sometimes.
Yeah, that's just experience, and he and I, of course, everybody knows he lives at my house, so he and I get to talk a lot of football.
Yes.
But I told him this week, you're not a sophomore anymore. This is a new season, his first game of his junior year, and that's the way we have to look at it. And I think that's the mindset he's going to take this week. And I'm proud of him as a dad. But then I got to chew his butt every day as a coach. I about lost my mind on him today at
Surely
practice.
not.
Yeah, a little bit. And I know that probably shocks you guys. But I do that because and not just him. I do that because I love him and I want him to be the very best they can be. And when I don't see him executing, I'm going to be the one telling him about it. So, but no, he's come a long ways, and that's not just him. That's the guys around him as well. He's not able to do any of that without those guys around him, without the playmakers we have. You guys talk about them all every week, and our line's getting so much better. And what people don't realize is as our pass pro gets better, there's escape lanes in the pass pro, and it's not. If you get an edge rush, you're good because you can climb up under it. But if you get that pocket pushed into your lap as you get an edge rush, you're in trouble. And that's where he was bailing out early in the season. And our guys are doing a better job about running those guys on the outside and giving some escape pockets or escape lanes out of there. And we want him to use his feet. He's a good athlete. And we want him to get out of there and turn a 6-yard loss into a 5-yard gain. That's a first down if you look at it that way. But he's done a much better job about it.
Well, I got another question here. So last week, of course, I felt like Brody Scarborough stepped up big time in the second half. Had some big time runs in the second half of last week's game, and really just once he started moving the ball, it felt like from up where we were, like, okay, the offense is really starting to go somewhere now, and the passing lanes start opening up.
Yeah.
What's he going to mean this week? I know obviously he's going to be in to help protect, but also running the ball. Even if he's not gaining 10 or 12 yards a carry, what's he going to mean to this game?
Well, and I know in the past we've been, and everybody knows that we're an air raid style offense, and we like to throw it around. But anytime you can be complementary of each other, run game versus pass game, it only leads to us having success. Brody's going to have a big night, not just in pass pro, but he's going to have to get the tough 3 or 4 yards. And I know you guys know this, but and you watch Brody, he'll get 3, he'll get 4, and then he gets 34.
Yeah.
So I and Coach Nichols, who will be on here a little bit, he's on me all the time about stay with it, give him his touches and this and that, and he's exactly right. We have to hang in there with Brody, and we have to trust that he's going to. And when he gets hit at the line of scrimmage, he gets 2 yards or he gets 3 yards. It's never, very rarely, is a tackle for loss. So there's not really a negative to him having the ball in his hand, but definitely, I think Friday night, I think you'll watch the game and he's going to get 2, and he's going to get 4, and he's going to get 2, and then he'll break 1. And
we get excited.
Yeah, their style leans toward it. I mean, they're very aggressive on defense, and that's what they do. And if you can penetrate that first level, if you can get onto those linebackers and let Brody make one guy miss, if you can do that,
he has gotten very good at making guys miss in the hole, not just out in the open field, but in the hole, which is hard to do.
Well, and he's always had the physical ability to do that. He's got good feet. Brody runs hard, but he's starting to see he's starting to see his reads from the backfield going to the line of scrimmage, and a lot of people don't understand that a running back just don't get the ball and run through a hole. They do that, but their cut in the hole is based on what they see at the second level, and he's starting to mentally figure that out. Um, and he's always been a bruiser of a runner, and I bragged on him at the first time I was on the show. No one, and I mean no one, outworks him at anything we're doing. So all this success that he's having, he's definitely earned it. But he's getting better about seeing that cut before he gets to it. It's not it. He's not just he's just reacting now. He's not thinking, and it's really he's really been had a lot more success with that.
Yep.
But definitely, Brody's such an asset to have back there. He's such a comfort.
Oh yeah.
Um, he's back there. He protects Cooper. Then when we need Friday night, um, I just call it like it is. As an offense coordinator, guy throws this, but as frustrated as I've been in a long time of calling a game, but we just couldn't get it going. And I just told him at halftime, I said, "Love you guys, it's a game, but we're gonna have to run it." I said, "Brody, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
tighten up your shoes and let's get it." So and they answered the call.
He had a very big second half, and
Absolutely.
hopefully he can carry that into this week.
Right.
Because I think that's going to be a big part of this.
Yep.
And a very good roam team. I'm excited, and I don't know that I've been this excited for a football game in a long time.
Yep.
Of course, I've been the principal of the school for the past few years, but in this role, and Dale, I don't know, you can maybe add to this, but I feel like I'm a part of this team, and I care about it when they lose, I lose,
Yeah.
Right.
and I feel it too, and so I am really pumped up for this game. Like I'm ready to run through the brick wall
Yeah.
to play this game, and I'm sure the kids are too.
Yeah.
And my last question is, how do you harness those? Is it possible to harness those emotions? You want that excitement, but you don't want too much that they're out there just doing anything.
Yeah.
What's that like?
It's a unique dynamic. And you guys know I get pretty worked up too at game time. So, um, and I tell them this in pregame when I'm talking to them. I tell them they're the only one that know themselves.
Yeah.
I said, you know what gets you to where you need to be. Some guys have to get that fired up, or they have to tell themselves something, or they have to breathe that fire. Other guys just are calm, laid back, and not everyone's the same. I look at one kid who's not maybe breathing fire, and I think is he going to be ready to play, and he's ready to play.
Yeah.
And I look over here and I look at a Blake Coleman or Eddie Matheny or those guys that have that mentality, and they're just breathing fire in the warm up. As getting ready to go. But it is, and I think we as coaches, and I think Coach Nichols does a really good job with this. Um, we we try to be as consistent with our pregame, so we're doing the same things and last Friday, I mean, how many more distractions could we have had?
Yeah.
I mean, it was pouring down the rain. It was senior night, which we love.
Yeah.
But it's a distraction. All the stuff that happened before the game started, and we had starters that were not playing, and I was like, what in the world is going on? But if you have that consistent routine and you try to keep everything as programmed as you can, dealing with teenage boys. You know how that goes. I think that's the key. They know what to expect from you. You know what to expect from them, and they can kind of get themselves where they need to be before that ball's kicked off. And we all know um, how important it is that you're right when that ball's kicked off. You can't wait till 3 series in. You can't wait till 3 plays in. You can't wait a quarter. When that ball kicks, you gotta be ready to go. And I think they do a pretty good job with it.
Absolutely good.
Well, 72 hours from now, it'll be time. We'll be playing.
I may not sleep.
I don't know if
I
I will either.
I haven't slept much, but
I wake up thinking about it.
yeah, absolutely.
I am excited.
Yeah, my poor wife and daughters at home are uh, they're sick of this game already. But I told them don't worry, it'll be here soon enough.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
All right, Dale, anything else?
Well, Coach, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Coach McDonough. We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. Got to get right back up, go to school tomorrow. So
Give Cooper a shout out. He's hanging out
Absolutely.
with the.
Yes. Make sure he
See you
does
back
his
there, Cooper.
math homework,
Yeah.
but at the same time focus on the playbook.
Yeah. We'll try to cross curriculum that there
Yes.
somehow.
I believe I
Right.
student taught when Cooper was in kindergarten. I was student teaching in that classroom, so
Holy smokes.
it makes you feel a little bit.
Bless your heart. Is all
Well,
I got
he
to
was
say.
he was one of the good ones in there that I remember.
Makes you
So
feel-
it's good to see him out there on Friday nights, though. It's fun to watch the maturity he's had and the improvement that he's had from that week 1 to now, and just see that improving as next year comes around and the year after that. So he's got a lot of experience under his belt at this point. But coach, again, thanks for coming on. We
Yeah, we
appreciate it.
appreciate you guys. Hey, and I'll say this before I go. I do appreciate what you guys are doing. And I'll be the first to tell you, when you guys said you were going to do this, I didn't know. I was like, I don't know if we want to video everything and put it out there, but I see the benefit and I appreciate you guys. You guys are
Well,
doing a
we
great job.
appreciate you. Good luck. Go home and do some more film stuff. If you don't mind.
I probably will do that.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Coach.
Yep.
We'll let you get out of here.
All
Have a
right.
good one.
Thank you.
Folks, we'll be right back. We got Coach Nichols coming up on WVRC 1047. We'll be right back. Oh. Thanks.
No problem.
I would say play an ad. Don't know if
Yeah,
it'll play,
I
will it?
think it's just you can see
Yes.
hearing everything you say.
Hey, Coach. Sound your hand.
Huh?
We'll
What?
listen to you on the road. Coach.
All right.
Okay. What did you say? Who signed my head? Oh,
I see writing on it. Give me a drink. Broadcast brought to you by Monster Energy.
All right, we ready?
Mm-hmm. Welcome back, Coach Nichols. Good to have you one more time. How about it?
absolutely.
And
Hopefully
let's
it's
not
not the
say
last
the
time.
last time.
That's
Let's
right.
say we'll have one of these next week. You okay with that?
Would be more than okay with that. Yes, sir.
Well, how are you feeling about practice today? I know it's an off day, so it's always a weird day, and just the week in general.
Well, being off from school throws things out of whack. You, like Coach Collins was just saying, you like to be as consistent um, with everything as you can. This day we do this day we do that, and we had to leave school early on Monday, so we basically had to double everything up today. Add the film session in with the.
Well, it's
Yeah.
one more thing to throw you off, right?
Oh yeah,
That was the first thing I thought of yesterday when they said we're leaving at 1. I was like, now they canceled all practices. I'm hoping they didn't, but they did. You guys couldn't practice yesterday after everything's out, huh?
that's 2 years in a row. We last year playoff week we had a day off from school because of snow or something.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It's always something, and you just kind of expect it after certain points. Like something's going to pop up, you just got to fight through it.
Yeah.
Good asset to have for your team, I guess.
Yeah, you were the principal last year, and I think I was probably giving you a little earful.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I've
you know.
learned and I've grown and
Yeah.
I've learned a lot. And now I'm better for it.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Because before we get into the X's and O's, I hope did we ever get that picture on there?
I didn't ever look for. I forgot you sent me one.
That's okay.
I can get it on there.
I'm gonna put something up here. I got you. So bear with us because I'm gonna show you something, Coach, that I want you to see and see if you know what this is.
Coach, while we're waiting on the anticipation is building here.
Yeah. This is a little intimidating. I don't know what the picture is.
No, it's nothing bad.
Okay.
Nothing bad. I'll show you here.
Go ahead, Dylan.
I was just going to ask you how you feel about the improvement from week. I think it was week 3 we played Roan, or was it
Mhm.
week 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Improvement, and I don't think I got my question through the way that I wanted it to get out. This offense has shown so much growth since that first game against Roan County. Have you seen the same amount of growth from just the offensive line and the backs in the backfield picking up those pressures? Because we haven't seen that type of pressure since then.
Yeah.
Have you seen the same thing?
Yeah, the offensive line is part of the thing that was going on with in the run game is they were putting 5, 6 men in the box
Mhm.
and saying our athletes are better than your athletes, and so what they were doing was they basically were doing what you want to be able to
Right.
do in a football game is you want to be able to say my guys are better than your guys, and we based upon previous years, that wasn't some things that Roan
Right.
had showed us. So, early on in the season, your offensive cohesion is not as crisp as it is as the season progresses. So you'd like to think that we've improved enough over the course of the year to identify, the blitz and identify, make sure that, and of course, you've had what probably 700, 800, and 1,000 reps in
Yeah.
between game reps, and then that many more practice reps. So, if you're not better, then
Something's
you're
going on. Yeah.
something's going on. Now, of course, on the flip side of that, you would like to think that if you're running, you'd like to think that the
Yeah.
runs better. So, that's all about it.
We had to kind of get away from the run game, maybe against run game. We talked about Brody. You would have loved to have been able to get him going, but I think the score kind of predetermined what you had to do in that game a little bit more
Mhm.
because you got what was it, 14-0. Then we got a nice little 5 yard out route to Kobe that he turned into a 60, 70 yard touchdown.
Yeah.
But then from then on, it was kind of big play, big play, big play from Roan. And at that point, you're kind of out of the territory where you have the luxury to hand it off to Brody because you want to try to
Right.
score and keep up with Roan.
Yeah, they took Brody basically out of the game plan by the score. I think it was 14-7. Couple minutes left before halftime, and if I'm not mistaken, we had a punt snap that they recovered for a touchdown,
Yep.
and then boom, boom, they had you're instead of going in the half down 14-7, you're going in the half down 35-7, and that changes the dynamic of the game. Roan obviously did what they had to do those years to or that game
Yeah.
to put it down. Now what you got?
That is what I've been trying to get.
What
That is
in
a that is
Evans
a
is that?
team picture
Okay.
from 2001. Any idea why I would put that up there?
The team picture from 2001.
You're going to see some folks in there. So there's a Michael Schoonover in there. There's Travis Woods in there. Eric Workman. Looks like that's Donnie Peck in there. There's Josh Salyers, Josh Nutter, Seth Ramsey in there. Dustin Stone, a teacher now for us.
Is that one of the
is
Gray
in there.
boys? Gray.
Yep, Tristan Gray, I think quarterback that team. There's Jared Douglas. There's Claudil. There's a bunch of guys in there. Ben Harper. Do you know why I would show that picture?
I have no idea why you'd say
So-
that. It may
so-
tell me I'm old, I guess. The only thing I can figure.
No, the last time we had a rematch in the playoffs of a regular season game was in
Oh.
2001,
2001.
and that was a very special team right there.
Yeah.
Remember what happened? I'm sure you know what happened to
Yeah,
that team, right?
they lost to Ravenswood in the regular season. I believe it was like 33-0.
31-0. I did my homework.
31-0, and
Yep.
then we came back and beat them in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, 7-0, wasn't it?
Yep. So why don't we go out and do that again? Why not repeat history?
All right.
It's just
Right.
that easy,
All
Coach.
right. Take the picture down. We're head on over.
No, I wanted to show that because I was talking actually to Mike Schoonover the other day about football, and he was talking about that team, and I said, "Well, it's interesting. We'll just maybe show a little picture of that team. That was a great team, obviously.
Man,
But
there's some
anyways,
good players in that picture, I'll tell you.
really were. I know
Yeah.
Seth is now at Poca
Okay,
and
yeah.
doing great
Poca
things
coach.
down there. And I didn't know. I don't know if Scotty was in that one. Maybe that might have been 1 year past him. But
You know the crazy thing?
Huh.
Kids are going to look at a picture of this year's team, and they're going to look back on it and say, "Man, that Joel Elliott, man, that Jacoby Nichols, man, that Blake Coleman at linebacker, man,
Right.
I'm missing people, man, that James Gross defensive line, that was a good ball player."
Yeah.
And these kids might not even know that right now because I look back and we think about Seth Ramsey and the Jason Tuckers and the Josh Salyers.
I think
and all
Leo
those kids.
Thomas was on that
Leo
team.
Thomas, yeah.
I ran into Leo the other day. He has a boy. I was at the middle school game. Middle school was up at Braxton.
Uh-huh.
And as I walked by, he said, "Hello, hey, coach." And he said, "Do you remember me?" And I said, if a coach at Clay doesn't remember Leo Thomas, something's wrong,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
his boy is playing for Braxton Middle.
Hmm.
That sounds
And
good.
Tony Meadows' boy
Yeah.
is playing
Yeah.
for Braxton Middle. The Proctor kid, his parents
Yeah.
were from, that goes to Roan, his parents were from Clay so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't know why. I don't know why none of these kids aren't playing at Clay. But
We'll
heaven's sake,
welcome them open.
The Salyer's in the
He
picture.
he
His
was
boy
at
plays at
Hoover.
Hoover. Yeah.
Well, we'll take him back for sure.
Well,
Nothing like honoring your folks by putting on the old blue and gold jersey, right?
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna ask you this. So I was telling Coach Collins, like, I am legitimately as excited for a high school football game as I've been in a long time. And I have nothing. I cannot affect the outcome one bit, but it feels like I can. And I feel like if I had as much excitement, if the kids had as much excitement as I did, it'd be pretty dangerous. Maybe I'm crazy. So my question is, how do you harness that as excitement? Do you feel it as a coach, and
Yeah,
do you
sure.
feel it in your kids, and how do you harness that in a good way and not let it hurt you?
Well, obviously the reason you play the game during the season is to get to this part,
Yeah.
to get to the postseason. So, you would like to think that everybody's excited. I think that the way you harness it is you continue to do your routine, continue to do what you're supposed to do. Focus on what, like I said to you all the time, we focus on what we do, and if we get better at what we do, then obviously the team is going to get better. And that's just what you do. You just go out. We put our helmet on and our shoulder pads on just like we do every Tuesday, and we went out and we stayed within our routine. Sometimes the routine, you get used to it so much that it almost becomes boring. And
Yeah.
because you're like, okay, we're going to do routes on air here, we're going to do pat and go here, we're going to do inside drill here, we're going to do this here. But if you stay in that routine and you bring it, it just, in my opinion, it just forces the focus where it is needed to be. And hopefully they left there saying, okay, we're still excited about, what I mean? So
Well, you don't want it to be too much. You're right. You want it to be another game, and this, it's not like we're playing some team that we've never seen, that we don't know where we're going. We're not playing on a Saturday, which we're not used to. It's just a Friday night. It's a trip to Rome. We've made it twice already this year. Once, in fact, we were the home team.
right.
So it almost, from that, when you start talking about it like that, it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
what's the big deal here?
Yeah, I had a guy. The coaches go to the head coaches of each team that made the tournament. You go up to Parkersburg on Sunday. So I went up there this past Sunday, and one of the guys said, "Do you ever not pick Friday at 7?" And I'm like, "No, as long as we're not going to Frankfurt or we're not going to you know whoever's up north or out in
Yeah.
the eastern panhandle, Friday at 7, because that's the routine that we do.
Good.
Yeah.
That's real good. Routine.
Yeah.
I'm a person that needs routine in my life. So like if something's chaotic, I get a little bit frazzled. My classroom's the same way. You got to have routine in the classroom, or the kids are going to be chaotic. What are we doing now? What are we doing now? What are we doing now? You got a routine established, and the kids respond to that. So that's awesome. I
Yeah.
like
I get I get frustrated on the 7 p.m. starts.
Yeah. We're
We've always
7:30.
we've always done 7:30, so that routine is thrown off by 30 minutes. And some schools, if you're down in the Kanawha Valley or Buffalo, Poca, they start at 7 o'clock, and they can do that because they play teams that are fairly close.
Yeah.
But schools like us and probably Roan, we have to, Roan has to drive out 36 just to get on the
Oh yeah.
interstate, or maybe head to Ripley just to get on the interstate. So, you know,
No easy way in, no easy way out. Kind of the same for us over here. I mean, you're going to drive a ways to get here. I see the issue there for sure.
bus travel, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
So playoffs, um, different animal. Who do you look for this week? Not just in the game, but in practice to step up and really keep the ship focused, player wise, on your team.
Well, you want your captains. You want your. We rotate our seniors every week, with the exception of Jacoby and Jackson. They've been our mainstays as our captains, and then the other seniors rotate on and off every week because you're only allowed to have 4 that go out for the coin toss. But you have your nine senior or eight seniors, those are the guys that have to lead. You know, they're the
Sure.
ones that, and then of course, you know, over the course of the year, some of the younger guys step up in the leadership roles by natural, by the way they behave, by the way they're prepared, and the way they, you know, watch film, and you know the way that people learn to trust them based upon they're doing their routine. You
I'm
know,
going to ask about a specific guy here, and I was leading up to this, and we've talked about a lot of players this year, but one that we saw make a big impact last week, one that I think maybe will make a big impact this week too, senior Eddie Matheny. Now,
oh
Eddie's a kid. For those of you who don't know, he didn't get to play a whole lot on Friday nights to start the season. It was his first year playing football,
yeah, right.
and then suddenly we looked down there and Dill, I think me and you talked about it on air last week. Like Eddie Matheny's out there making plays all over the place.
Right.
How's his progression been? What are you seeing from him?
Well, you know, some schools around the state, they're too busy recruiting, you know, others from other schools. You know, I
Yeah,
believe that
yeah,
we have the talent within our own school, and I've been working on Eddie for a couple of years now. Thought I had him out his junior year, you know, didn't ended up not happening, and thought I had him out this year, and you know he works in the summer, and he missed the first 2 or 3 days of practice, and I thought, man, I have Eddie. You know, I had
yeah.
Eddie, and so Eddie gave me a text and said, Coach, can I come out the Thursday of the first week? And we're like, yeah, absolutely. And he ended up showing up. I remember we were in practice one day, and I said, this was way early in the season. I said, Eddie, you need to, you know, go in for three tech. And I said, all we want is for you to go as hard as you can go. And I said, don't worry about making a mistake. Just go as hard as you can go so that, you know, we can teach
Yeah.
the rest of it. And I'm over here giving him all this advice. And, you know, and Eddie goes, Coach, what's the three tech?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, let's
Yeah.
slow it back down, you
Yeah.
know. So, but he has progressively learned everything. You know, it's taken him some time to get in there. I know last Friday we were doing the senior night stuff, and you know we were giving all of them a hug at the end of the game and so forth. And I looked at Eddie. I said, "Aren't you glad you done this?" And he said, "Oh yes." You know,
Yeah.
so you know,
Nobody ever regrets it, do they?
they never regret it.
Yep.
They never regret it. I mean, you know, I couldn't imagine why you would, but you know, he.
Eddie, I'll never forget this summer. It's 95 degrees, and I'm pulling in where I live at Nebo, and I pull off the out Route 16 and up the hollow there, and there comes someone running with a weighted vest,
Hmm.
and it's
Yeah,
90 degrees, and I'm
yeah,
like, who is that? And it's Eddie.
yes,
And then about an hour and a half later, I'm leaving the house. I pull him back in to come home, and there's Eddie again. He's still running. I'm like, what are you doing?
he's
He
one.
is so tough.
He he absolutely. I'll tell you this. We were leaving. I can't remember exactly the day. I'm wanting to say it was. I'm wanting to say it was after the game on Friday. And if not, it was sometime last week. We were leaving. Everybody was, you know, it was after the game because I was doing laundry and all of this, and you know, we're talking an hour and a half after
Yep.
everybody after I even started, and I went to shut the light out, and I heard somebody. And I said, who's in here? I thought, you know, maybe I didn't know who it was. And he said, me, coach. And I had shut the light out in the weight room, and he was back in
He's
the
lifting
corner
weights.
lifting weights. I had no idea he was even in the building.
That's
You know,
impressive stuff.
yeah. So
I never wanted to even pick up a weight during season because I
yeah,
was so tired.
yeah. I have
And
kids who's like, coach, it's game day. Can we quit
Yeah.
lifting? I'm like, no, we lift on game
That
days.
was me. I remember those days.
I don't want to be
for sure when I
sore or
played.
anything for the game.
Yeah.
I always tell them, I'm like, you know, there, if you ever watch, which I'm not an Ohio State fan, but as the lineman, as everybody else is out there warming up, and the linemen are still in the building, if you notice, the Ohio State
They're
linemen,
lifting.
the last thing they do before they come out onto the field is lift, and the kids like, we're not Ohio State,
We're not. But
you
yeah.
know.
Wow. Well, uh, what is it like gearing up for So we talked to Coach McDonough, and he's, defense, special teams, and Coach Collins offense. You're kind of the operator of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Uh, you're playing a team that you're very familiar with. They're not doing anything drastically different than they did week 3, but anything drastically different than they didn't do the last 2 years, honestly. And I'm not sure we are either. But what is it? How are you preparing? I mean, the kids have seen this team. They have seen this team over and over and over. They have played this team year. Most of these seniors have played this team for 4 straight years now. Um, what? How is that? And is that an advantage to you as a football team who didn't win the last 2 times you played them?
Right. 2 times ago was 47-46.
Um,
And then this most recent time, we were
14-7 with about 3 minutes to go in the half.
right. And, breaking in a new quarterback, breaking in some new guys. So, you just hope that what you've done over the course of the season has gotten you to what they do. And the reason Roan is what they are is because they stay in those routines.
Yep.
They lose a Brody Proctor, and the next thing you know, they have another running back that's doing the same thing. I watched their JV team just like our JV team. They're doing what their varsity team does. I watched Spencer Middle. They were playing South Harrison in the
That was one heck of a
championship.
ball game, by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah.
Did you see it,
I
Dale?
did, yep.
And
Didn't catch that.
and
Incredible.
and South Harrison was running the same thing their varsity does. The Spencer was running the same thing their varsity does for the most part. Obviously you have to adjust based upon some personnel issues and things like that. But the reason,
3 playoff teams, by the way.
Yep.
yeah,
All 3 of them.
right, and the reasons Roon is what they are is because they do what they do, and that's what we talk about. We just focus on what we do and getting better at what we do. And I guarantee you, Roon is over there today focusing on what they do, getting better at doing what they do. So, it's as far as familiarity, you don't have to dig too far in the huddle film
Yeah.
and so forth. Obviously, you got to watch what they've done since then. But it's at this point, it's about execution. It's about just doing what you're supposed to be doing and making sure that you are aligned correctly and make sure that you know your assignment and
Alignment and assignment. You brought that up last week, and
yes,
yes, absolutely.
alignment and assignment. That's right. And you have to, and sometimes whenever those assignments are blown, it's obvious. Like we gave up a long touchdown to Roon because our kids were, we were stopping them, we were stopping them, we were stopping them. Boom, Roon hits us for a big long pass play because our assignment is that's your assignment, and we blew that assignment, and that's how Roon gets that, and but Roon was able to. Put 7 in the box and say our 7's better than your 6, and they could play their 4 over our 4 and get to us before we could get to them, and they were successful at it. So you don't have a chance, you don't have a choice, but to go out and get better at what you do if you want to beat them at what they were doing.
I know you've watched a ton of film. I know we have, in fact. I don't know if Huddle keeps track of that, but you can probably see my name up there this week because I feel like I have some
I
as
can,
responsibility to
if I
watch
if,
film.
if I have my phone, I can tell you exactly how much you watch because on Monday, um, where they had to send us home, I told the kids, everybody has an hour of film that they have to watch because then we're going to come in and do an hour of film before practice today to make up for that 2 hours of film that we do on Monday. So I took screenshots of where everybody was at, so I can tell you how much you watched and you
I've
and
watched a
the
little bit
coach,
this week.
all the coaches. So they're all supposed they all have jobs they're supposed to do.
Coach, I don't want to keep you all night. I know it's been a long, long day, but I got one more question for you, and I know you don't like to you're always afraid you're going to miss somebody that you're talking about. But there's a one kid that made a play on Friday night, and we mentioned it after it was
I know
made.
who you're going.
A freshman stepped in and made a huge play when it was 17-16, and stepped in, made an interception, undercut a route to get us the ball back in Braxton territory, and led to the field goal, I believe. Colin Elliott, you called his name several times this year and said he's going to be special. Watch out for him, and you were right. He made a play Friday night, a huge ball game in a huge situation. What did you see there, and how excited does that make you to see? And you see it all the time, I'm sure, but to see that a freshman stepping in and making a play like that.
Well, the reason Colin is able to do what he did is he's an athlete. He's a superior talented kid. I mean, he's going to go a long way in this game. Uh, the other reason is he did what we do at the middle school that last year when he was in eighth grade. They were the conference champions. So he had more than one season doing what we do. I know that this year's middle school team wasn't quite as good as what you would want, but the more they stay with that offense, the more they stay with that defense, the more they stay with that terminology, the better they will get. Um, but Colin is just constantly improving week to week. So you've seen him on Monday nights.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he was our
It feels
leading.
like you can just put him anywhere you need a spot. Like
Mhm.
some guy goes down and it may not be the spot he normally plays. You're like, well, put Colin in there, and
Right,
then
He'll go
you
make a
just
play.
never know where he's going to end up and make a
right.
play.
Yeah, Colin's just that's part of being, just a good athlete, part of being intelligent to what you're doing, part of knowing what you're doing, and it's just practice reps and everything. Now I have a question for you.
Okay.
I look over here, knowing you said you don't want to keep me all night long, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, but I see some Geno's boxes over there, and I do not see my name on any
Well,
of them. So what's that all
I
about?
would say inspect those boxes a little bit closer, and you're not
I
going
have
to see
no
my
idea what
name
that
on
is.
it.
Oh, is that right?
Someone wrote my name on it. I have no idea how that happened.
Somebody wrote your name on it. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I had a Totino's pizza before I came. I
Oh, there you go.
popped it in the microwave.
Right, microwave pizza, and all right, now that's a little dirty, Al. But
I'll stop and get you a cheeseburger from Wendy's on Friday if you want
There
me
you
to.
go.
uh,
I can do
And
that.
some, what's it called, diabolical sauce or something.
Yeah,
yeah, it,
it's,
that's a little. That's.
yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
it's what is it about 9, 10 o'clock at night? It seems
feels
like
like it's
10:45.
yeah,
and
yeah.
we're over here talking all this stuff and not one thing over here for me to eat. But that's all right.
I have a piece of candy in my pocket or
Yeah.
something.
Well, last question. We've asked everybody this, and we'll finish up with you. What are your keys to victory?
What
And
are
don't
our
say
keys to victory?
what's going to be the keys to getting a win Friday night. And don't say play.
Oh,
I'm not letting you off that.
okay. Well, obviously the key to victory is you got to be able to hold your emotions in check. You got to, contain the excitement that you were talking about. You have to go into the week, into the game, knowing your alignment, knowing your assignment. You have to go into the week, and our receivers are going to have to be fast in their routes. Especially if they're going to come in doing what they did, sending more people than we have to block, so our receivers are going to have to be quick in their routes. Our quarterback is going to have to be quick in his decision making. Our lineman is going to have to, uh, you know, block. They're obviously, you're going to have to block, and you got to win the trenches. Defensively, Roan has no secret about what they're doing. They're going to run the ball regardless of who. Roan's not going to come out into trips
Yeah.
formation and doing. And if they do come out into trips, most likely they're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
And not that they don't have a capable quarterback, because they absolutely do. He's a 4-year starter, so I believe if Roan wanted to line up in trips and run some pass plays and so forth, but Roan doesn't keep it secret. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run, and we have to know what we're doing, and we have to stay within it. And if something bad goes wrong, you have to continue to do what you do and be
Yeah.
aligned the way you're supposed to be, because everything doesn't go your way in a game. So that's what I mean by keeping your emotions in check and so forth.
Well, I'm excited. I'm ready to go. We got 72 hours before we kick this thing off, and let's make it special.
All right. All you can do, all you can do is win the game. As Coach Davis said, if you're going to win it, you have to win it that night. You can't wait till tomorrow. So,
Yep.
so the kids have to win it that night if they're going to win it.
Right. Well, your what fifth playoff game now in the past 5 or 6 years or something crazy like that.
Something like that.
Congratulations, by the way, on my calculations have 75 wins on record for you now. And I was part of that very first coaching staff when you took over as head coach. And I wasn't sure we were all going to even be coaching by game one
Yeah.
when it all happened.
Oh, it flooded. Absolutely.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
lost every piece of equipment we owned. And pretty
Yeah.
sure we thought, well, we just won't have football.
Yeah. Well, there was a time.
Uh,
There was a time
yeah,
during that really was the thought,
I
and
remember.
was we going to have it that year? But that's
If you told me 10 years later you'll have 75 wins and we'll be making our fourth or fifth, whatever it is, playoff appearance, um, I'd have called you crazy.
well, coach or not coach, but Bruce Cunningham. We started out that year 1-5,
Yep.
and Bruce Cunningham. I went up to Cunningham's, after that fifth loss,
Mhm.
and he said, of course, you know how Bruce is, but
Mhm.
he said, I heard you were. I don't remember where he said I was from, but he said that my new name was Win One Soon.
Win one soon.
Win One Soon, yeah. And I said, okay. Yeah, he told me I was win one soon, and I said, all right, well, hopefully we can win one every
Uh-huh.
once in a while. And of course, we ended up 5-5, and all the rest of it. And 75 wins. Well, there's a lot of losses in there, so
Well, only 30 some. If I don't remember the number of it, but it's only 30 some in
30
well,
sometimes you got beat.
yeah.
So you'd
in
like
70
to.
some wins.
Well,
I remember we were at Logan the last time we lost a game, and we talked about it. Everybody was frustrated and mad and thought, well, shoot, we lost. And we talked about it. We said, this is the start of something right here. We can go on a little run here, and we have. The kids have responded really well to that. We were sitting at 2-3, and lo and behold, we're 7-3 now, and right where we want to be, and another shot at Round County.
I told kids going in the room, I said, you have a chance to be a special team. You know, we're, we've won, like you said, we've won quite a bit, and the kids are at that point where they don't want to be the team that has a losing season.
Yeah.
So, we haven't had one of those in a while, and I said, if when you lose Noah, you lose Aiden Brown, you lose Seth Robinson went somewhere else this year. You lose Bryson Peters and Kendrick and TJ and all of the seniors that we lost from last year. You got a lot of shoes to fill.
Yeah.
And the kids have to step in and fill those shoes. And I kept telling them, I kept saying, you are going to be a special team if you buy in, if you buy in, if you buy in. And after the halftime at Roon, we had a heart to heart, and Roon was up 35-7. We had a little heart to heart in the locker room. Probably heard me up in the booth, but we had a good time, or at least I did. I don't know if they did, but
Yes.
and so it was, we're either going to do it or we're not going to do it, and they decided we're going to do it, and that's where we're at. So hopefully, they're ready to go. The Logan loss still it gnaws at me a little bit because we had 19 penalties in that game, and I'm not sure that we ever did false start, but they called us for 6 or 7 of them, and
I was getting ready to say we were called for 19 penalties, but I don't think we had 19
Well,
penalties. That's how many flags were thrown.
well,
maybe it was meant to be because we're right where we need to be.
There you go.
right, I don't know. You at that night it wasn't meant to be, but it was what happened, and But that was a long time ago, back in October, I believe, early October, and like you said, we haven't lost a game since then. Of course, we wasn't supposed to lose a game since then, and so the way we look at it is if we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to be all right. And I believe the kids are ready to go for that. I believe the coaches are ready to go for that, and I believe our fans are ready. We need a playoff win. I mean,
2001 since the last one.
yeah. I mean, the kids have put in the work, and we need a playoff win. We had an opportunity last year to go up, and we had the game in check. It was going in our favor, and then
Couple plays.
it is what it is, but you need a playoff win because we're talented enough to do that,
Yeah.
and I know it comes against Maroon, who's lost what 2 games in 3 years or
Yeah.
something, 3 games in three
So,
years.
a shocking 9-1 team at a 6 seed.
Yeah, they're a
Yeah,
6 seed.
they've
Yeah,
won. They've lost one game all year.
you're
They're
right,
a 6 seed.
right,
Hard to believe there's 5 teams better than them.
well, that's the problem of Double A is, you look at Single A, there's teams making the playoffs at 3-7. You look at Triple A, there's teams making the playoffs at 3-7, 4-6. You look at Quad A, there's teams making it at
There were 2 teams eliminated, and that was it. Going into last week in Quad A.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you look at Double A, and there's teams that are 7-3 that are not in, that are 6-4 that are not in, and a couple years ago when we didn't make the playoffs,
We're 8-2.
we were 8-2, and it was because that's when they first introduced the whatever it was,
Strength
the
of schedule.
strength of schedule stuff, and of course we had 46 teams in, and we finished 17th, and we're 8-2, and that was probably one of the better teams that we had around here, but sometimes like you talk about, things are meant to be. Sometimes they're not meant to be that way, and I just believe that if we go up and we do the things we're supposed to do, and we do them the way we're supposed to do, that's a key. Do them the way we're supposed to do them, then things will work out the way they're supposed to work out.
Well, we've been challenged. You can see along the bottom of your screen there, if you're watching, you're going to see 4 or 5 teams that we've played this year are in the playoffs. There's your playoff matchups, of course.
Yeah.
So we're primed and ready. And
I see things going across. I can't.
yes,
I can't read it, but
those are the playoff games that are going to happen on Friday, Saturday. And so a lot of those teams we've played, and we're ready to go. And I'm excited. I know the kids are excited. Let's get through the next couple days of school here and get over there and play a ball game.
yeah, I wish it was tonight. To be honest with you, I mean, we're at this point. You just want to play ball.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I just want to go out and play some ball and see how it works out. So,
Absolutely.
Well, Dale, anything else?
Think I've covered everything I needed to cover. Thank you,
Fan,
Coach.
you
Don't-
didn't give me. Still hadn't got me any food yet, but
Yeah.
that'll be all
why
right.
didn't you do that? I'm not sure why you
I
didn't do
wonder if
that.
there's anything down in the kitchen we can peanut butter sandwich or something.
Yeah, cereal. Maybe
Yeah.
saw somebody's locker.
Oh, that'd be
open.
good. Yeah.
Cocoa
Down the
Puffs.
hall, somebody had some Cocoa Puffs in an open locker. Be
One
good, wouldn't it?
one of them pre-made, whatever they call it, the peanut butter and jelly that's in the package.
Oh, yeah,
Uncrustable.
Uncrustable.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Fans, don't forget that you have to buy your tickets on GoFan. If you have questions, call the school. They'll get you set up. But it's pretty easy. Sign up for an account. Doesn't cost you anything. Buy your ticket. That will cost you $7. But you'll have to have it to get in. No cash at the gate. No cash at the gate. So make sure you do that. Come out and pack the bleachers. These kids deserve it. We're gonna line the streets up. I'm calling on all of Clay County businesses out there that are on the in town and folks who can make it. Let's make some signs. Let's line the streets. Let's make some noise for these kids as they roll through town about 3:30. Is that right?
Bus is
Bus
leaving
at
at 3:30.
Let's line the streets. Let's give them an escort out of here that they will remember, and then let's follow that bus right on over to Spencer and watch the Panthers. And let's shock the world here and get a win and move on, play another game next week, and have another show.
All right.
I'm
Sounds
okay
good
with
to
that as
me.
well. All right. Well, if nothing else, folks, we're going to sign off here. But again, thanks for tuning in to our coaches show. And nonetheless, this won't be our last stream for sure. But hopefully, we have another chance to talk football. But we've got lots of other sports coming up. Coach, I know you'll be joining us some for some basketball action, and then
Oh.
later on in the spring, baseball, softball action.
Oh, yes.
So we are ready to go, and we're excited. Thanks again to all our sponsors. Thanks to WVRC, Drew, Swalby, all the guys over there. Thanks for watching. If you're out there watching in Facebook land or YouTube land, wherever you're at, and hopefully you've done it justice. And we will see you on Friday night. We'll be live at 5:30 is the goal. So tune into our Facebook page, YouTube page, 5:30 live, and we'll get you all set and ready to go for 7 o'clock kickoff. Roan play at Roan. Good old fashioned rivalry in round one of the SSAC AA playoffs. Anything else, guys?
That's it.
All right, I'm